Well, the Minister for the Interior, Prosper Bani, has urged gaming gambling regulators in Africa to develop a cutting-edge strategy to expose money launderers and terrorist financiers who use gambling operators to launder illicit money to finance the activities of terrorists. The minister was speaking at the 2016 Gaming Regulators Africa Forum conference here in Accra. The regulators are seeking to work towards effective regulation of gaming and the promotion of legal and responsive gaming. Here is Mr. Bani speaking today.
Ladies and gentlemen, it's not an exaggeration to say that as governments, we rise or fall by globalization. As a force for good, globalization fuels the potential of our people from various corners of the globe to prosper through the interconnections of increased trade, circulation of knowledge, goods, technologies, and services. However, globalization also makes very easy the movement of money, weapons of conflict, and criminal operatives around that break fragile states apart and threaten the very foundations of even the more robust societies. Today, money laundering and terrorism financing have become a huge global menace to governments and the security of populations because some powerful cabals use gaming operators to launder illicit money from narco trafficking and other criminal operations to finance the activities of terrorists. Thus, no matter how watertight gaming regulations may be, in any jurisdiction, no state anywhere on this planet is immune from the economic fallout from money laundering and the human horror of terrorism. Another equally important issue that GRAF has to tackle is underage gambling. If some adults who patronize gaming facilities become addicted when they occasionally win a bet, imagine the social, psychological, and financial unraveling that happens to an underage person trapped in the grip of illegal gaming, whether there is an occasional win or not. The logical progression then is to skip school and play truant at the expense of acquiring an education and healthy future prospects.
Right, so that's the Interior Minister Prosper Bani there speaking at that conference. Maxwell Agbagor of Joy News covered that program. He joins me in the studio. He's been looking beyond this news conference to interrogate how the link between gaming and terror is here in Ghana. Maxwell, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon.
So, beyond what the Interior Minister has said about gaming and terror, what have you also been able to uncover when you're doing your rounds in response to this?
Well, in response to this, I've been going to some gaming centers dotted across Accra, and I first of all went to a gaming center very close to Kukumlimli, and I went there to speak to the owner of that gaming center to find out how lucrative it is, how people patronize the place. And he tells me that usually they have a lot of people coming in, but he actually downplayed what the minister said in a statement about a link between terrorism and then sports betting. The popular one what we all know as super bets. He actually downplayed what the minister mentioned about the link between terrorism and then super bets. I went ahead also to speak to a patron there.
Let's hear from the owner first, and then we'll look at what the patrons have also had to say on this matter.
So let's say yesterday, for instance, it was the final game between France and then Portugal. If I walk into this place and I want to bet on the team, what is the process? Kindly walk me through the process.
The process, they give you your options. That's maybe they will give Portugal 3 point something and France 2 point something. We have live bets. We have normal bets. The live bet, when the game is going on, the figure changes on the system. You can bet. But when you bet, that doesn't mean automatically to go into the system. The system have to wait and pick, because they will say something like active, this thing is not active. the option is not active. The moment it becomes active, you can bet on it. And those options, live betting, it goes up. The more they play and there is no go, the more the money goes up. So those who knows inside like betting on the live ones, and those who wants to bet before the match start bet on the normal ones. So when you walk in and I give you the options and you check and you want to bet on the normal one, you bet. On the live ones, you have to wait. You check at the figures. The more you bet, the more you gain.
Okay.
Supposedly somebody put 1 million Ghana cedis on Portugal at the extra time. He would have won around 1.3 billion.
Wait, so if somebody had put his money, let's say 100 Ghana cedis on Portugal yesterday during the extra time that they are going to win it.
They were giving 13 cedis. I was watching the figures. So it's likely that you said 100 Ghana cedis.
Yeah.
He would have won 1,300.
1,300 cedis. Interesting. Well, there are growing concerns.
1,003.
Yeah.
Because at the extra time, the money went up. It shoot up from, let's say, 6 cedis or 7 cedis to 13 cedis. And French was giving 2 cedis 50 pesos.
There are growing concerns about how children, especially underage kids especially, can psychologically be tied to the game of betting, such that they would want to miss school to come and play bets and all of that. You operate this place. Have you had in your careers where some school kids, like underage kids, would come to this place that they want to play?
To be frank, I don't allow children. Here you could see elderly people, and they have age limit. The moment anyone who knows how important school is and who is educated, when he sees a kid around this thing, he will naturally sack him. And most of the places, they have bouncers. Every betting shop have bouncer. They have someone who is at the gate check the age limit. So when he sees you and decide that you are not going in, you are not going in. And for the school issue, I know some of the SS guys are over 18. It's likely they do betting. But for them, they are so mature in a sense that I don't know what to say. You leave school and come and do betting whilst you are not working. What do you expect? You are foregoing your future and rather thinking of gambling.
There's a thought, or there's that perception that betting centers are actually fertile grounds where terrorist groups can actually come and then recruit young people who are interested in making so much money and then get them to join their ranks. Have you heard any of that somewhere where, let's say, some terrorist group, scouting around for betting centers to poach those kids or recruit them? You've heard stuff like that?
No, I have not. To be frank, I have not. But I don't think any sensible guy who is going about his own business or going about his own thing or have something doing will leave whatever he's doing to follow money. Unless the person is a greedy person.
So all the people who come here are greedy?
Pardon?
All the people who come here are greedy?
I could not say yes and I could not say no. We have greedy people. It's natural. You won't know unless you get nearer to the person. They will say gamblers are greedy. It's not greedy, it's a habit. And if you can control your habit, fine. Some people cannot. So they will be having problems.
There's also a stigma, for want of a better word, I would say a stigma attached to gambling. Have you felt it anywhere? Have you had people say that, maybe parents telling their kids there's a gambling center, so do not go there and all? Have you heard any of that?
Yeah, I have. To be frank, I won't lie to you, I have. I don't allow my own kid to go and play games at a game center.
You don't allow them to play the betting? The one that you ran here?
No.
Why?
They're underage, one. They are going to school, they don't work. Why would you play again?
So what if they turn 18? Would you allow them to play?
If they turn 18, they are working with their own money. I don't have problem with it. But only thing I would do is to advise him, because I don't even allow them to go to this game shop to play those football games.
Right then, so that's an owner of a betting center here in Accra. Maxwell, you also spoke to a patron, someone who's been benefiting a lot from this gaming business. Much as they do not find a link between gaming and terror, what's his story? Chrissy Blankson.
His story is that the business is lucrative, and in fact the minister actually mentioned it in his speech that it accounts for about $500 billion of total global money that we have. So he tells me that anytime he goes to the sporting place to go and bet, he makes a lot of money from it, and he tells me he has no plans of stopping anytime soon. So we can listen to him.
Premium bet. We started by when Superbet come, the options that they give, it's very, very nice. So I used to play the Superbet. So at times I feel win easy than the other bets.
How much money have you won, like so far, from Superbet?
Oh, the big one that I win 4,600.
4,600.
Yeah.
And how much did you bet?
I bet 2 CD.
2 CDs, and you won 4,600.
Yes.
On which game? What game is that?
It's a Premier League and Spanish League. I choose from all the countries. Portugal, I choose FC Porto, Benfica, Real Madrid, Barca, all these things, and they all win.
So you won 4,600 Ghana cedis?
Yes, sir. Actually, sometimes if you go there, first when they started, you see if the person is not under 18, they won't allow him to go and pray. Only people that are above 18 used to pray. Because of the bet that come, if you go, some of students, if they go school, they they won't pre game or something like that. So I mean the game is very nice. So they have to check those their children. Sometimes weekends, the children don't want to learn. They want game. So I mean if they do this thing, then they stacking those under 18. It's better.
Okay. If you have a child and your child turns 18 and he wants to play Superbet, would you allow him to play?
Oh, once he's above 18 years and he have an opportunity, if he get his own money, he won't play, there are enough problem to him.
And if you listen to the kind of money that these people are making, I understand why they will not want to stop. But again, there's a concern about the growing link between gambling and terror. But thank you, Maxwell, for the work done. Beyond what the Interior Minister mentioned today, there's more to this in terms of those who benefit and those who also work in this space. Thank you, Maxwell.
You're welcome, Frank.